Wanted to give you a look at some of the cuts that I make when I'm breaking down rabbits, getting things packaged and processed for the freezer. So we killed a few days ago 19 rabbits. I haven't got a weight on how much I've actually gotten out of that yet. I've boned them all out into different cuts and mostly grind because I'm making a lot of sausage, which we really enjoy. I do know that I have 56 pounds of grind, um, except that I did take 9 more out of the freezer that had been kind of bulk frozen when I didn't have a chance to get to them in the past. So in total, we're looking at 28 rabbits. Um, but those I've broken down into various cuts. So I really like to break down the meat and package it up. It obviously takes more time than just packaging and freezing whole rabbits, but we get a lot more use out of it this way. Now that would depend on, what you like, how you use it, if you prefer whole roasted rabbit. But for us, if it's in something that resembles kind of your more grocery store cuts of meat, it goes seamlessly into my recipes and I can grab it from the freezer even on short notice and we're good to go. So what are some of the things that I'm making or that I've cut? So like I said, I'm making sausage. I'm actually making about 50 pounds of sausage. In the process of that, we've got some other videos. Recipes are on meatrabbits.org, so come on over there if you want to find some really excellent, tried, true, proven sausage recipes for your rabbit meat. Ground meat, now I use ground rabbit just like I would use ground beef, ground pork, or ground chicken. Really, it just goes into everything. I think ground rabbit really shines in all sorts of recipes. You probably, if you've seen more other videos and read other articles, you might even be sick of hearing me say this, but the rabbit just takes on the flavor of whatever you're putting it into and takes on the flavor of the spice really well. It just kind of becomes one with the spice and it's excellent. So ground is something that I always make. I'm leaving today about 6 pounds of it that will go in. Usually I like to do even more than that, but I really wanted to put a ton of this into sausage so that I could really stock up my freezer with sausage. So ground rabbit, one of our favorites, extremely versatile. Use it anywhere in every recipe. I usually do, well, I call it a stew meat. This one has been in the freezer. It's just a smaller chunk, say about inch and a half. Really, there's no rule to this. That is whatever size you prefer, and obviously that's for stew, but it's also for soups, casseroles. I'll even take this out and dredge it and make the rabbit chicken nuggets. That recipe is also on the website. Anything. Like I said, I call it stew meat, but it really is so much more. Quesadillas, everything. Anything you can think of that would use a chunked meat, the rabbit stew is great for that. Because it's summertime, when I'm making this video, I decided to make most of what I left for, say, stew or chunk meat. I made it into kebab meat this time. Just left it bigger, something that about 2 inches in size. Again, no rhyme or reason. If you have an idea of what vegetables you like to cook with it and what time that might take to cook, rabbit has about the same cooking time as chicken, but I'm looking forward to marinating this and having it on the grill with some fresh squash and whatever else looks good that can go on there. And then here's another one. There is a recipe on the site for rabbit cutlets, and I talked about this in that and in another video. That's what I generally use my belly flap meat for. Now this is a cut, and you can see it's very thin, but it's perfect cutlet size. This is right off the rabbits. There's 2 on each rabbit under the rib cage. Comes right off just like this, and I love to use it for cutlets. You could cut it down into strips if you wanted to do a marsala, a scallopini, anything like that. But the nice thing about the cutlets with these is that this is a cut of meat that a lot of people don't really know what to do with because it is, because it is thin, the shape, the size of it, and it does tend to be a little bit chewier, but when you pound that out and you cook it like a cutlet, you've got an excellent cut of meat. So I've kind of gone half and half when I cut down the 19 that we processed. I took most of their cutlets and those are being packaged. I'll package them 4 or 8 together, and they'll go in the freezer, and then I'll have them for cutlet use. And then the other 9, it went into the grind just because I wanted more grind. One piece when I do break down rabbits that is kind of a pain when you're boning out is the front leg and shoulder. So this time those all got saved, cut down into, I'm calling them rabbit wings. You know, rabbits don't exactly fly, but you know, I'm gonna cook them up just like chicken wings. Same idea, great flavor. Season them up with whatever favorite sauce you have. So, you know, there are other ways to break down your rabbits. You can break them down into legs and saddles and all of that. You don't get the breast like you do a chicken. There is actually, you know, a way to break down a rabbit. These are some of the cuts that I like, and I just wanted to give you a look at them so that you had some ideas of some different things that you could do, especially if you're one who doesn't want to have only whole rabbits in your freezer, and also maybe wants something a little more versatile, a little quicker than just having those broken down cuts all the time. So these are our tops. They're excellent to use in anything. You know, we're trying to build the library on the website of rabbit meat recipes, but also again you can just use it interchangeably in anything you would use: chicken, ground chicken, chicken cuts, or turkey, or any other poultry. And for that matter, I do the same with a lot of pork and beef. You know, as a homesteader, we use what we have. We do mix in pork and beef just for a variety of flavor and diet. But since the rabbits are what we're focusing on raising, that's most of what we're using, and this is some of the ways we use it. So I hope this helped, and if you have anything to add, any suggestions, you know, let us hear about them. We'd all love to keep learning and having new ideas to use these excellent animals.